It's 4 o'clock in Los Angeles. It's 6 o'clock in Chicago. And it's 7 p.m. in New York City. Hello, everybody. I'm Mad Dr. Scipio, joined as I am, heaven help me, by Amelia the Pitbull Chapman. How are you, Amelia?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm absolutely mediocre. Um, Not bad. Not bad. Um, Anticipating our first rainfall tonight on the East
Wow.
Coast in almost 2 months.
Well, we're happy not to have the rain. Thank you very much.
Well, yeah, how many? The three? You've been to three of them or two hurricanes?
Two hurricanes,
Two,
so it's
and
like been
maybe
like,
one more on the way.
oh gosh, I hope not. They said it could be either hitting
What are they telling
Miami
you?
or us again, or maybe Tallahassee area, Louisiana. So,
Now, how far is like Tallahassee from where you are?
oh gosh, about 6 or so hours. It's like up in the
Oh,
Panhandle
is
area.
it
So,
north of you or south?
north, very much
Oh,
north.
north.
Yeah,
So,
it's
it's up near the Panhandle, like where
yes.
Pensacola.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because I know, Robert Gibson from the Rock and Roll Express lives up here. I
Yeah,
know
it'll
Robert,
be up his area, unfortunately.
right? All righty. Well, I hope you guys don't get um any kind of like nastiness because you're still cleaning out of the last two.
We still are. People are barely starting to get their
Yeah.
roofs repaired, their garages, everything repaired. It's just starting to feel like normal again in a way, I could say. And our there's very everybody's starting to feel like, okay, is this what our street
Um,
really looks like now?
yeah, exactly, right?
Oh, we'll
Crazy
send you
stuff.
all the rain you want. Trust me.
Well, I mean, we need it up here.
Yes.
It's been kind of like dry.
Yeah.
We haven't had any rain for almost 2 full months.
Oh my
It's
God.
been like 56 days.
Jeez.
Yeah, 56 days without rain.
Speaking of 56,
Um,
that's our low is going to be. So we're
to the
excited to
point
have that
where,
low.
yeah, to the point where the state is telling people if you don't have to use water, don't.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're under like drought conditions.
Oh, that's not good.
Well, you have to remember something.
Mhm,
The Northeast, where I live,
mhm,
78% of the country's entire population.
mhm.
Think about that. 78% of the entire population of the U.S. lives in the Northeast.
Oh my goodness.
Think about that. That means Vermont, Maine, New England, Connecticut,
Right?
New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Washington.
Mhm,
Um, there's
mhm.
like this hub.
Right.
It's like the epicenter of the whole rest of the world, really.
Right.
Because we got Washington D.C. here as part of my makeup,
Yeah, and it usually
and I
rains a lot
like.
there, so it's amazing.
But
Wow.
yeah, it's been kind of dry here,
Wow.
so but we need that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Tonight we have a show tonight that people want to know, like, how do we get show ideas?
Mhm.
Well, Pitbull and I will ask you. We'll say, even at the end of our credits, it says, if you have show ideas, send them to what's the buzz podcast at gmail.com. Well, guess what? We get them all the time, and we're doing a show tonight based on a viewer recommendation.
Yes.
They wanted to know, hey, Pitbull, hey, Mad Dog, can
Yeah.
you guys do a show on what's inside Fort Knox? Because I heard it was empty.
Hmm. Well,
You hear that rumor?
I heard that there was something in there that is not empty. I've always heard it was some gold in there, but
Well, it's not empty. I'll tell you that.
right.
It's not empty for sure. Question is, how much of what's in there is gold?
Yeah.
That's the question.
And you know the saying that I've always heard as a kid, it's guarded like Fort Knox. Remember that saying?
I remember that. You know why? Because if you get anywhere near Fort Knox, they will shoot your ass up.
Yep.
And they ain't playing either.
No, they are not.
Yeah. We're actually going to do a story next year, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. We're going to do a story about a civilian army personnel that was killed on Fort Knox property by a soldier.
Yeah.
It goes a lot deeper than people think. I dug into the story a little bit, and there's a lot there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot there. So, yeah, I mean, you might want to stay tuned for that one. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah,
and Amelia might even be with us at the time. Anyway,
I could be here or turn in my resignation or just behind the scenes. You never know.
You can't resign. You know that. Captain Miserable would cry himself.
I know, right? Oh, we have somebody with us tonight. Already.
Yeah. Who's with us? Oh, Leon. Hey.
Hey, Leon. Hey,
nice
Lizzie.
fall weather. It's felt like summertime here today. It was
Really?
gorgeous. The weather was good. Leon and Rosie. I love Leon and Rosie there. They're good people. They're our kind of folks.
Yes.
What's really in Fort Knox? That was the viewer suggested topic of tonight. Well, let's talk about Fort Knox. In fact, you know what? Why don't we do one better?
Yes.
Let's take we'll shut up for about 3 or 4 minutes. And we'll just let you take a listen, take a licking and keep on ticking. Take a listen to this video and this audio clip. What's inside Fort Knox? Well, let's take a listen to this.
For years, depository officials were pressured to open the vault for civilian inspection, but Fort Knox continued to refuse to allow the public inside. Finally, in 1974, for the first and probably last time, a dozen congressmen and 100 journalists were invited inside. Among them was a young senator from Kentucky called Walter Huddleston.
As one who has lived within just a few miles of this installation for a good many years, but who has never been inside the front gate, I can say that it is with a great deal of interest that those of us from the Congress have this opportunity to view the deposit here and to learn just what is inside the gold vault here at Fort Knox.
It was the opportunity of a lifetime. Illinois Congressman Philip Crane, who'd helped initiate the audit, was also there.
Congressman Crane, you suggested all this. Why?
Well, I did because there were rampant rumors and members of Congress were receiving a great deal of mail based on the charge that significant portions of our gold reserves at Fort Knox were gone. So I had suggested to Secretary of the Treasury Simon that I thought this would be a good way, I think, to dispel those rumors.
The secret contents of the vault were about to be viewed by the public and recorded on film for the first time. Huddleston was on hand as the vault door was unlocked, and the wheel was turned 14 times to open the latch.
You have to stand back, gentlemen, please, so we can get
It's a big thing, 20 tons.
I think there was a considerable amount of excitement and expectation. I personally felt like we were going to find gold. I didn't think that we were going to find it empty, but I, recognized maybe that was a possibility.
The visitors were led to a room.
Now you can see what's in here.
A blue sign showed exactly what was inside this one single compartment. 36,236 gold bars, almost 12 billion ounces. At the time, it was valued at almost $500 million.
We're cutting the ribbon. Now we have to be very careful of this document.
What they saw next was astounding.
Can you believe that? Look at that. They're part of the ceiling.
I remember being somewhat in awe of seeing all the gold stacked toward the ceiling. I thought, here I am in the presence of a great fortune. It was an interesting experience right from the beginning.
And these have been weighing about 22 pounds. So
Each of the gold bricks was worth $65,000 at the market price of the time.
Pay very close attention if you're watching this on YouTube or Roku or Tubi TV or any of our outlets. Pay very close attention to this. Watch them handle this gold and tell me if you don't see something unusual.
you got it, John. Don't drop it.
Bill Evans was one of the journalists allowed inside.
Nobody knew what to expect. And everybody was wide-eyed and said, this is Fort Knox. I'm inside Fort Knox. And as we were taken down one of the corridors, we were allowed to see the gold, and we were allowed to pick it up, hold it, look at it, inspect it. And to my knowledge, it was.
Let me get the measurements again. What happened?
Gerald Lush was editor of the News Enterprise daily newspaper. He too was there.
I never had a doubt once I laid on it. Just the look of it, I just thought, that's the real thing. There's no way you can fake that.
You got it? 22 pounds or thereabout.
Amid the excitement, director of the Mint, Mary Brooks, took center stage as host of the event. She wore a money green dress and a necklace adorned with gold coins.
Miss Brooks, are you happy now that the gold is here?
Oh, of course, I knew it was here all the time.
Okay. All right, kiddies. Pop quiz. What did you notice? Amelia,
That
tell
looked
me
like
what
it
you
was too light.
I was so happy to hear you say that.
Yes.
The problem, and I noticed it right away when I
Right.
watched this video the first time. I thought to myself, they're handling these gold bars
Right.
like there's no weight to them.
I also did it look like it was wrapped to you?
Some of them were, yes, and I'll
Yes.
explain that.
Okay.
I'll explain that process. Some of them were wrapped,
Mhm.
but there was another part of that film that just blows. You have to go shake your head when you see it.
I was like, wait a minute.
There's a wall of gold,
Right.
and some of them look like they're coming off
Right.
because it's not a full brick.
Yeah.
It's a facade.
Looks fake. Right.
It was fake.
Yeah, and I was like, that does not look like. To me, I would not be able to hold one because it'd be like, whoa.
You wouldn't be able to hold it. It would be.
No.
Gold is one of the most. In fact, it is the
Mhm.
densest metal on planet Earth.
How much does one weigh, if I may ask?
One gold bar,
Yes.
anywhere from 60 to 80 pounds.
I wouldn't be able to lift
One.
it because I can't lift
No,
over 5
no, you
pounds.
could, they have gold bars, Amelia, that take
Mhm.
sometimes two people to lift them.
Yeah.
One on each end.
And that little thing looked too small for that to weigh. Come on.
Let
Give me
me
a
tell
break.
you something. If you see the thickness
Uh-huh.
of this here,
Right?
that's about the thickness they were holding.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
This here is about the size, this
Mhm.
little sign
Right?
is about the size of the gold bars they were holding. The problem is they were doing this with the gold bars like I'm doing to this little empty sign box.
And the scale was ridiculous. That was another giveaway. The scale they were using.
It was the wrong scale.
Yeah.
It wasn't the proper scale to measure gold, to
No.
weigh gold.
No.
What they used, in case your guys, I mean, I want you to please go back and look at the show and look
Mhm.
at the video.
Right.
They're using basically a food scale, is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was
That's
gonna
what they're
say.
using. They're using a food scale.
That's what you would use
And
to
I
weigh your
want
food for people to lose weight.
understand something, Amelia.
Mm-hmm.
Leon said the same thing. That was fake gold.
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely right, Leon. And I'm going to prove your point to you because you're going to see more of it.
Right.
Let me explain what you just saw. Okay. No human being other than Fort Knox employees, which are all with no exception, which are all military. United States Army. That's who guards Fort Knox. U.S. Army, and they have instructions to shoot on sight, shoot to kill if necessary. They don't play at Fort Knox. Let me tell you what happened. In 1973, there was a number of people getting wind of the fact that things were happening at Fort Knox.
Right.
Trains were coming by, and if you look at where it's located, it's in the middle of nowhere. But if you look very closely, there is a train track not far away. Now, understand that. The other thing is behind Fort Knox, in this fortress, this building, is a shipping loading dock in the back.
Right.
Where military trucks can back in and pull out. In 1973, a number of people in the area, because people live there,
Right.
a number of people saw trucks coming in and leaving at a much more frequent pace than before. You would see 1 or 2 trucks a week.
Oh, wow.
They were seeing 3 or 4 a day.
Wow.
For almost 3 weeks. What were they doing? Well, we now know what they were doing based on history. They were taking the gold from Fort Knox, moving it to Denver, Colorado, San Francisco, California, and Philadelphia, PA. Most of it. The rest was moved to an undisclosed location, and that, funny enough, happened to be the majority of it. They left a little bit of gold at Fort Knox. A little, when I say a little,
right,
they left maybe a million, maybe 2 million tops.
Oh my goodness.
Which is, if you think about gold being $65,000 a bar.
Right.
Think about this. Do the math. $65,000 a bar. How many bars would it take to make $2 million?
Let me see.
Do the division. Figure it out for me. Because it's not a lot of bars, folks.
No.
That's the point I'm trying to make to you. If you were to open the vault at Fort Knox, you might see 60 or 70 bars.
Right.
Okay? When they opened that vault, there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bars in there.
Gosh, it's like wall to wall, up to the ceiling,
Wall to
you
wall.
said. Even up to
There's
the ceiling.
one problem.
Mhm.
There's one problem. They didn't expect people years later, us, for example, they didn't expect us to look closer, to take a little bit of a closer look with our technology now and look at it and go, wait a minute here. Something don't look quite right there, boo-boo.
Do you think they did that for like a tourist thing? Just to keep us quiet for a little bit?
Now you're getting into it, Amelia. Now you're getting into it. What they did, the Congress contacted the Treasury. They said, we want to come and see what's in Fort Knox. Now, Fort Knox said no. Well, Congress said, well, guess what? We control your budget. So my advice to you, Fort Knox, is that you might want to say yes, because we control your money.
Right.
Okay? So if they say no to the Congress, and Congress wants to be dicks about it, they can cut the funding to Fort Knox. That means Fort Knox closes up and has to be taken over by the government. Right now, Fort Knox is not, listen to me carefully, is not run by the government. It's run by the military. There's two different things there, folks. The government and the military are two very, very different animals. Okay? Leon, here you go. Here it is. 31 bars is what it is, Amelia.
Wow.
I said 60 or 70.
Yeah.
Okay? 31 bars, all right? Think about that. I'm not saying that some of those people didn't see real gold, but they didn't see any. They didn't see $500 million worth of gold.
Right.
Because that shit was as fake as a $4 bill.
They just didn't click at the time because they were like, oh my gosh, you know.
That was it, Amelia. That was it. The whole thing about the time, and that's important, because the whole thing about that time period was they were just so in awe of being inside the vault. It was showbiz.
Yeah.
It was wrestling. It was razzle dazzle. Leon will understand what I mean by this.
Yeah, the thing of turning the wheel 14 times, and yeah.
No, Neil.
Yeah.
They got kayfabed.
Yeah.
The government got kayfabed by the mint.
Yes.
The public got kayfabed by the mint.
And we saw it right away. We saw all of that right away just by looking at it. Just like, wait a minute.
First time I saw this video, I went, "What? Stop, pause." I paused it. Like I was like 10 seconds into this, and I went, "Pause."
And when she
something ain't right here.
Yeah.
Hold on, Mel. I said something ain't right here, and I saw the two things right away that you saw right away.
Yeah.
Too light. Looked too light. And it looked like there was way too much chicanery going on. It looked like a show.
Right.
Like they were putting on a show. And that's what they were doing, folks.
Absolutely.
They put on a show for the... By the way, there were 12 members of Congress. There were 100 members of the press. Why do you... Let me ask Leon this. No, you know, I'm going to ask you this.
Okay.
Why do you think, Amelia, the Pitbull Chapman, that there were more members of the press than members of Congress? What would be the reason for that?
To make sure that it got covered by everywhere, so it got seen everywhere.
I'm so proud of you. You're getting smarter. I love this one. She's getting smarter. How can I... Now, you want to know, those people that have asked me to dump your ass, you see why I got to keep her? Because there's hope for this kid.
Well, those people that had told you to dump me, there you go.
Why are you flipping off our audience, Amelia?
That's for people that tell you to dump me, so there you go.
You don't do that to the audience. You do that to the haters.
That's what I did for the haters. That's what I did for the haters. There you go.
I got to talk to you after the show. Flipping my audience off.
No, that's for the haters. That wasn't for the audience. That was for the haters. No,
I will make sure Amelia writes a 100-page. I will not flip off the audience again.
That was for the haters. That wasn't for the audience. That was for the people that
we've done that many times on this show, folks.
That was people that hate me. Okay.
If you don't believe that, ask Savannah Paranormal.
All right. No, but I have a question for you though.
Now, here, Leon said we were talking about showbiz. It was a staged event. You're 1,000% on it, Leon. Go ahead, Neil.
Okay. Now that you said that now it belongs to the military, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, how big of a red tape do you have to go through to even be there as far as like a soldier? You know how they have stationed.
That's a great question. That's a great question. The people charged with guarding Fort Knox are the elite of the elite in the U.S. Army. These are people who have no soul, no conscience, could give a shit. They will shoot their own mother.
Jeez.
If their mother tries to, and I'm not even shitting you. We're going to hear about a case. We're going to cover a case next year about a member of the Army who shot another Army member at Fort Knox. You'll find out why.
Right.
They don't care. They will kill you. Okay? That a soldier shot and killed another officer should tell you something. It should speak volumes to you. It's crazy what they got away with, what this guy got away with, until he got caught anyway.
Right.
Anyway, but let me tell you who they are. They are the elite of the elite. They are stone cold killers. Most of them are Army mercenary, which means they don't care. They will just shoot you because they want to. Of course, they can. Understand this. It's really important that you do. Fort Knox is the single most guarded, heavily fortified, secured building. It's a fortress, is what it is.
Right.
In the entire world, bar none. There's more people guarding Fort Knox, and this is, if you think I'm kidding, look it up. There are more people guarding Fort Knox than there are the White House. Then there are the Pentagon. Then there are all the national treasures combined.
Jeez.
More manpower has been spent on Fort Knox than any single government charge in history. More than the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, all of that. The Magna Carta. You're going to hear about that too tonight. Because guess what? The Magna Carta is inside Fort Knox.
Wow, so they're not just having, they just don't have gold in there then?
Oh, wait a minute. Let me read this to you. I got something to read to you folks.
Ooh.
What's really stored at Fort Knox?
Oh, okay.
Where is all the gold? Most, if not all, the gold reserve has been moved to West Point Military, Denver Airport, Denver Mint, and the Philadelphia and San Francisco Mints. Why the Denver Airport? Well, if you've been watching us and following our shows, you'll know why the Denver Airport. We will do another show on the Denver Airport, Lord willing and the creek don't rise, in 2025. All right, what's stored there? Let's tell everybody what's stored there. There are a number of vaccines stored at the Gold Depository. Among the variety of vaccines housed at Fort Knox Depository are massive stockpiles of morphine vaccine in case of a nuclear conflict. The cure for most cancers, the AIDS and COVID-19 vaccines are also stored there. Messenger RNA vaccine is stored there. That's the type of vaccine that both gives and cures COVID-19. How about that one?
What the hell?
It's called the firefighting fire vaccine. It will give you COVID and it will take COVID away. It's called the mRNA vaccine. And it's this friggin' long to pronounce, and I'm not going to try to pronounce it.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. The vector vaccine, protein subunit vaccine, the cure for polio is also housed at Fort Knox. What chemicals are stored at Fort Knox? Pre and polyfluoroquinol, also called PFAS. It's a firefighting foam that fire departments use. To put fires out.
Right.
They have stockpiles of it. Why would they need it? In case of a conflict.
Right.
You're going to have to put fire out with something, won't you?
Absolutely, if they want to.
Expanding foam, and they've got years worth of it there. They also have the ability to both prevent contamination and cause contamination with said foam. By the way, they have done both. They also house there tetrachloroethylene and trichloroethylene. They are both cancer-causing agents found in untreated groundwater. They have both in powder form. They contain, they also have their nitrates. Chemicals have been found in the groundwater supply at Fort Knox. So they have to get their water, by the way, from other places. They can't even drink their own groundwater.
That's horrible.
Because they poisoned it. And they have, I don't know why, folks could guess why, they have stockpiles of asbestos.
What?
Now, why would they need that? Simple. Air assault. If you drop asbestos in the air, it will float there. It'll linger sometimes for days.
Yes.
What would that be great for? Oh, maybe chemtrails? What do you say?
Yeah, because we've got plenty of those.
Among the chemicals currently stored in the gold depository are anthrax, typhoid, diphtheria, Agent Orange, the bubonic plague, herbicides and pesticides, including massive amounts of the chemtrail cocktail, aluminum, barium, and sulfur nitrate.
Oh my goodness.
Wouldn't that be a great way to poison people? Just drop some asbestos in with it.
Let's just hope nobody goes rogue and gets upset with somebody.
Asbestos has been known to cause cancer very quickly, too, by the way. What national treasures and other documents are or were housed at Fort Knox? Among the world's greatest artwork and treasures are stored in Fort Knox. In the gold depository, including the crown of the King of Denmark. That crown itself is worth almost $1 billion.
Wow.
The Declaration of Independence, the original copy, is at Fort Knox. The copy you see underneath all of that glass in Washington, that's not the original. It's an original, but it's not the original. It's not the original. It's an original copy. And there were several of them. There were something like 26 copies.
Wow.
Why so many? And they were all handwritten, by the way. Why so many? Because they were given out to the signers.
To the ones that signed everybody, make sure everybody had a copy.
Yep. The United States Constitution and an original copy of the Magna Carta, plus Abraham Lincoln's handwritten copy of the Gettysburg Address are also all at Fort Knox. There's one other thing in Fort Knox that's so unbelievable I had to check it out myself. Pictures of President Dwight D. Eisenhower meeting with aliens in I'm not making this up.
Wow.
In 1954. In 1954, President Eisenhower met with allegedly world leaders. It was all bullshit. It was all smokescreen. They took him to Edwards Air Force Base in Ohio. Okay? It's now called Wright-Patterson Airfield. All right? In Ohio. Their pictures were taken there in a secured facility. Those pictures still exist. They are housed in Fort Knox, Kentucky, where they will probably never again see the light of day, except maybe by a United States president. Oh, and by the way, if a president wants to go to Fort Knox, he has to put down in writing why he wants to go.
Oh, wow.
The president, you hear what I'm saying? That's how they don't. That's why I said there's a difference between the government and the military. If the military wants to take over the government, God help them. If they do that, you'll see a power struggle the likes of which you've never seen before. And I assure you the United States government will win. Because they've got the U.S. government has a secret the government that the military don't know nothing about. And I'm not at liberty to talk about it.
Right.
All right, now I gave you a handful to look at. What do you think?
It has to be a real good letter for the president to be able to say, here, I want to go in there to see what you got in there. So he better want to really have a good reason. Now, you said that all of that stuff is stored. Do they have like secret bunkers as well, or is there like underground?
They do. We want to talk about that. Kenneth Jarrett Singleton. Yes, Valiant Thor. I remember Valiant Thor. This, I am old. I remember. From Venus was located at their air base. Yes, and you are absolutely right. We should do a show on Thor, Valiant Thor. People thought his story was bullshit. Guess what? I happen to believe the guy. I believe him.
I'll put it down on the
Thank you, Kenneth, for that heads up.
I'll put it down on a piece of paper so we won't forget.
Yep. That's going to be part of our UFO show. Okay, so here is what we know. First of all, remember what I said at the top of the show.
Yes.
Congress requested to see this.
Correct.
The reason they requested to see this was because they were getting letters from their constituents that there was no gold at Fort Knox. The gold was being moved away.
Right.
That rumor has been there for a long time. But it finally took a bunch of congressmen getting together to say, all right, you know what? We got to press them on this now. Let's see this place. Let's see what's there. Let's see what Fort Knox really is all about. When they got there, they were only allowed to see one room.
Right, just that one little bitty room.
And that's the room you saw. That little bitty room was the only room they were allowed to see. And by the way, they made it look like that room was filled to the rim with gold.
It looked like a small closet.
It was. That whole room was nothing more than a glorified bank vault.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've ever been to a bank and been in a vault, I have, because I had a safety deposit box years ago. You walk into a bank vault, it's not very big.
No.
In fact, it's quite claustrophobic.
Right.
You know? And don't get locked in one because you ain't getting out till the next morning.
You're not gonna be like, okay, I guess I'll be here for a while.
There is no food and there is no water.
No.
So if you're going to get locked in a bank vault, make sure you bring a bottle of water in with you.
Right.
Anyway, that's another story. We'll talk about the guy who actually spent 3 nights in the bank.
Oh my gosh.
He got locked in the bank over the weekend.
Probably a Friday night and spent. Oh dear.
He got Friday afternoon to be specific.
Oh no.
Friday afternoon, 10 minutes before closing time.
You would think they would check before they close.
What nobody knew at the time, Amelia, was that the bank vault was on a timer and it closed by itself.
Oh, that's right. They are on timers. That's right.
It closed at 3:00 on Friday, and that vault didn't open up again till 9 a.m. on Monday morning.
That's why I don't like safe deposit boxes.
And they found the guy alive in the bank vault with not a stitch of clothes on.
Oh.
And I'll tell you the story when we do the show.
Okay.
That's all. That's a teaser. That's all you're getting right now. But there's a story. What is their story? Anyway, what happens if you get inside? If you manage if you manage to get inside. Well, first of all, how will you get in? There's only two ways in, and there's only one way out.
Let's see though.
All right. Think about what I just said to you.
One
Do the
way
math here.
in,
There are
one
two
way
ways in and one way out.
Well, let's see. One way in is you'd have to be a soldier employed there somehow or other.
No, forget that. Forget that.
You'd have to
Forget
sneak
that.
your way in, find a way in.
All right. Let me ask you a question.
But you have to look at the cameras.
When you go home, how do you get in your house?
Through a door.
The front door, right?
The front door, yes.
That's one way in.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other way in?
The same way you came in, the front door.
The back door.
Back door. But
you got a front. It's like a house.
Yeah.
Fort Knox has a front door.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get that far.
I was going to say, in a body bag, you could leave.
Shut up. Fort Knox has a back door.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Here's the problem, though.
Yeah.
Here's the problem, though.
Keypad.
You can. Wait a minute. You're getting smarter.
Mm-hmm.
Card key.
Mm-hmm. That's what I say. Your card key that you have. Yeah, you have to have.
Let me tell you. You're two ways in and one way out.
Mm-hmm.
You can get in through the front. You can get in through the back if you make it that far.
Yes.
But guess what happens when you get in the back door? It only opens in. It doesn't open out. You can't get out. There's no handle. There's no card key. There's no wheel to open it, like a
oh yes.
They call a cylinder wheel. There's no cylinder wheel, or commonly known as the bank vault wheel. Ship captain wheel. You get in, you ain't getting out, because two things will happen if you try to get out. Number one, you'll set the alarm. It'll signify up front somebody breached the fort. Number one. Number two, it will immediately begin to flood.
Oh.
It has a flooding mechanism. And it goes all the way to the ceiling. And if you can't swim or hold your breath, you're done. Of course, there's no way to get out of it. Only your lifeless body will be drug out of the place.
I was going to say, in a body bag is one way, other way to get out.
What we're going to do is I think I'm going to do this right now. In fact, I'm going to show you the second video. Now, there's not a lot of audio here. Just watch this, Amelia, and describe to everyone what you're watching, okay? Here we go.
How many copies do you have?
Just watching very closely, everybody. And there's another guard. And then there's somebody behind him. There's somebody coming up. It's like they're trying to open the vault, but there's a guard standing right in front of both of them. And it looks like they're trying to open the vault, but they're having a hard time opening it. There they are. Now they're getting the guard to help them open the vault.
Let me explain. Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, Neil. It looks like they were having a hard time opening it.
Yes.
They actually weren't. If you look at what the officer with the police cap.
Yes.
If you look at him, what he's doing is while the guy is turning the wheel, this guy's entering
a code.
A code on a little a touchpad.
Okay, so it takes two people to open it.
It takes four people to open it.
Oh my goodness.
Watch these two guys. Okay? Look at the guy that's at the vault now. Okay? I want to bring it back to right here. Now watch. There's one guy there, right?
Right.
Watch how many. And they all have something to do with it. Watch.
Oh, he's calling for the other guy.
He's calling him over right now. Yep.
He's ready because he did something. Okay, now he's doing something. His part, the second guy.
Okay, now watch. Here you go.
Oh, they have to turn it at the same time.
Wait. Oh, wait a
key or
minute.
something.
No. What? Wait. Now, here comes another guy.
Okay, good.
That's number 4.
And they're turning the wheel 14 times, like they were saying.
14, exactly 14 times.
To open the vault, which is like huge steel.
Now, I want you to do something for me, you guys. You're watching or listening on radio. You can't see this. Amelia's doing a bang-up job of describing this to you. I want you to take notice of something. If you're able to watch this on any of our video platforms, none of these officers look real happy to be there.
They do not.
Now, let me explain something to you. All of those officers have been replaced by soldiers now. Okay? There's something else that's changed. There's nothing they are not allowed inside. Okay? There's nothing inside Fort Knox that they're allowed to see, touch, or handle. They're not even allowed to look. Okay? They're forbidden from eyes only, let alone to have a cell phone in there. God forbid, right?
Right.
Or
because
anything
they can take
like
a picture of anything.
Never.
Mm-hmm.
You are looking at the only proof of anything being inside Fort Knox. The video that you see now and saw previously is the only recorded record of Fort Knox open to the public. Let us continue.
Yeah, and he's holding up
He
his
looks
rifle.
miserable, this guy.
He does. And
now watch. You see that scale?
Yes.
That's for show.
Okay.
That's for show only. That's not how they weigh their gold.
No.
That's not how it's weighed.
And there's all these gold bars have numbers
Take
on
a real
them.
good look at that. Take a good look at that gold million.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, take a good look at it.
It looks like it's a bronze color. Doesn't look gold.
Well, part of that can be the film itself because it's old film.
Mm-hmm.
But I want you to look at what I just stopped the video on.
Mm-hmm.
Look at those.
It looks like they're falling.
Look at them.
Yeah.
They're not gold bars.
They're not.
It's a facade.
Yeah, they look fake.
They are fake. You're looking at it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. They look like gold does not turn like that. Too.
Amelia,
mm-hmm.
When you put tile on a wall, doesn't it look like that? What you're looking at, you say it has a bronze color.
Yeah.
It does have a bronze color, partly because it's an old film, number one. And number two, because that's not what real gold looks like.
No.
Real gold will blind you with brightness. Take a look at this. Just watch. All right.
Yeah.
Explain to me what part of that am I supposed to believe?
None of that.
And you saw. Thank you. but yet, in 1974, people believed it. Why? Because they read it in the newspaper. Why? Because they were told to write what they wrote. Why? because Fort Knox wanted to push forward an agenda.
Yeah.
Look, folks, there's gold in Fort Knox. Bullshit.
Back then,
There's
people would
nothing in Fort
believe
Knox.
whatever they would read. People would believe it back then.
The only thing we know for sure right now, there is less than $1 million. They say between 1 million and 2. But safely, we're going to say there's about 1 million, just under 1 million, which is nothing. 30 or 40 bars in Fort Knox. What's really there are documents, diseases, chemicals, stockpiles of vaccine, stockpiles of chemical weapons. Why would they need all that? In case we get into a conflict with another country, we could take them out. This is how the military works. They don't think about peace and love. They think about how can we fuck up everybody? How can we kill everybody?
But sadly, what if those diseases get into the wrong hands too? I mean, with one of those soldiers, you never know. That's the sad part too. You gotta look at.
The other thing about the people who guard Fort Knox, as I said, they're the elite of the elite. They are the creme of the crop, the creme de la creme. Okay, you're not getting past these guys. Most of them are young, eager, want to impress their boss. They honestly believe. They honestly believe that they're doing something good for their country. They don't realize they're being played as pawns in this.
Yeah.
Why do you think a guy ended up dead in 2013 at Fort Knox? He got shot dead. He was on his way coming home to go, coming out to go home.
Right.
He was leaving, folks, to go home. And he was shot dead on sight. But you'll hear the rest of that story when we bring it to you again. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise after November. I mean, after December.
In the beginning of the
January.
year.
I'll get through all the months. November, December, January. I'll get through
I know, they'll be here before we know it like that.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Questions, Amelia. We got questions about this. What do you want to ask our audience?
Yeah, it's like, I have really, why would they want to store all the documents there in Fort Knox? Why wouldn't they pick anywhere else like the Denver airport like they did the rest of the gold? Why there?
Because Fort Knox is the single most secure facility on planet Earth. The Denver airport is not. Think about something. Gold is replaceable.
Right.
We are no longer on the gold standard in the United States of America. President Richard Nixon took us off the gold standard. Why did he do that? It was the smartest thing he ever did. He was a smart guy too, by the way. But one of the smartest things he ever did was take the United States off the gold standard. Here's why. Follow this. If you are on the gold standard, you are at the beck and call of whether gold goes up or whether gold goes down. There have been times that gold has gone into the toilet and our money is worth nothing.
Right.
And times that gold has shot through the roof, like back in the early 80s, where our money was the envy of the world.
Right.
Think about this. $1 US was worth 100 British pounds at the time. Now, $1 US is worth 2 British pounds, not 100. Think about that. Think about what I just said. And now you know why President Nixon took us off the gold standard. Okay? He did it to level the playing field and hopefully save some of the gold. What President Nixon did not plan on was a bunch of thieving, rotten, lying, stinking military people to steal it all. He didn't count on that.
No.
Okay? What other questions you got for me?
Well, also, as well, like, is that why we're not having a lot of change as well now? It's all pretty much all the dollar bills. Is that why all the coins and stuff are disappearing?
States is doing away. Yes. In short, yes. The United States is doing away with coin currency. If you go to, and this has been in the works for a long time. Okay. Let me explain. Cash will always be around. Coins will always be around, but they will not be generally circulated the way they are now. In other words, the coins that are in circulation will stay in circulation. The cash that's in circulation will stay in circulation. Here is where things get different. Okay. Because the mints are closing. Philadelphia Mint closed. Denver Mint closed. San Francisco Mint closed. Okay. But we do know that there are still people there. They're guarding stuff.
Oh, okay.
Guarding
That's
gold.
what I was going to ask. Okay.
Okay. What does the mint provide? One thing. Currency. Okay. The mint provides currency. At any given moment, the mint can fire right back up and start printing money anytime they want. Okay? You follow me, Mill?
Yes. My dogs were barking. Now, what about silver? What about silver as well? I know that they were guarding gold, but what about silver? Is that going to go up with gold?
There was a time in the 1980s that silver was worth, I'm not making this up, folks, look it up. The Hunt brothers. Just remember that name, the Hunt brothers from Texas. Okay? From Texas, from Odessa, Texas, by the way.
Wow.
The Hunt brothers.
My hometown.
The richest silver brokers on the planet. Okay? In the 1980s, a 100-ounce bar of silver was worth 4 times more than a bar of gold. A 100-ounce bar of gold. Okay.
Wow.
Silver was capping out at some crazy number like $469 or $479 an ounce. An ounce. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Dang.
If you had sterling silver, people who had sterling silver were melting their shit down as fast as they could get it.
I'm saying, here, get this.
Cashing it in. Back in the 70s and 80s, boy, Amelia, stop with them when muting yourself.
Sorry about that.
Let the dog.
Okay.
They're dogs. They bark. Let them bark. Don't worry about it. It's all good. It's nice to hear a dog barking. Here's the thing. In the 70s and 80s, if you had silver,
yes,
you became a millionaire within like literally overnight.
Wow.
I'm not even shitting you. I'm not even kidding you. There were people that were melting their silver as quickly as they could get it to the stores.
Dang. So it was worth it having this.
Conversely, there were people buying silver like you couldn't go on YouTube and just type in the silver rush of the 1980s.
Wow,
it
definitely.
Will blow your people couldn't get enough silver. They were buying bars of silver and just holding on to them. Those people became millionaires from doing nothing but buying silver.
Wow.
And they didn't have to buy a lot of it either. Okay.
Dang.
You heard what Leon said? 36 bars of gold at $65,000 a bar.
Dang.
Is $2 million. You hear that? You hear that?
It was worth it back then buying that silver then.
Telling you. Anyway, Amelia, what we got coming up tomorrow night?
Absolutely. It's like that old saying, right? It's like, we would have known then what we know now.
Don't even start. Are you kidding me? Let me tell you something. Just as a side note. Years and years and years ago, somebody said to me, buy Yahoo. I said, what the fuck is a Yahoo?
Yeah, I know, right?
Like in my neighborhood, a Yahoo was like a jerk, like a creep. He was look at that Yahoo, right?
Right, like that idiot, right?
Buy Yahoo. What the hell is Yahoo? Just buy Yahoo.
Tomorrow,
and I didn't. And what I did was I bought a Yoo-hoo instead of a Yahoo.
Oh.
You know what a Yoo-hoo is?
Yeah.
It's a chocolate drink. Yeah. If I had bought Yahoo then, you wouldn't be talking to the mad dog. You'd be talking to the rich motherfucking dog.
Right. Yeah, just like they said, what was it? Apple, AT&T, and all them.
Apple,
Tomorrow,
yeah.
Right? We have a show called Are We Inherently Racist? We're going to be doing that
tomorrow night. That's going to be our show. Are we inherently racist? Is everyone racist? Is everyone racist?
I believe we are in a way.
My brother-in-law said, hey, Scotty.
Hey.
I'm going to be spending, I'm so happy. I'm going to be spending Thanksgiving with Scott and Dawn. Anita and I are going over there and have some Thanksgiving dinner. We're not going to be
some good
eating
food.
alone. Nobody's eating alone this year.
Good. That's good. Everybody's going to be with family.
Because Scott has to work on Thanksgiving. You believe that? Yeah. But he don't mind because you're getting like quadruple time.
Make sure you save him a big plate of food.
Who, Scott?
Yeah.
He eats like a fucking bird. Are you kidding me? Nah, he's a big boy. Scott is a big boy. He's like 6'2", like 285 pounds. Right, Scott? You're a big dude. Wait till I get off the air. He's going to call me and go, fuck you.
I tell you now, no.
Right? Anyway, what else we got coming up?
Well, on the 25th, you have an all-guy show. You're going to revisit Alcatraz. You're going to have Ken
boys.
Wilder.
We're kicking Amelia out. I'm going to put her on assignment that night.
Right.
I got Amelia doing research.
And Mike Lynch is going to be coming back along with Ken Wilder.
Ken will be here, and his brother David.
Right.
Ken and David Widener. They are the nephews of Clarence and John Anglin, two of the three men who escaped Alcatraz Island.
That was a good story.
Our friend Mike Lynch will be back. Mike is a regular feature on our show. We love having Mike here. He's a smart guy. I'm going to bring, you know what? I'm going to bring Mike back.
Yes.
For the God question. Can God make mistakes?
That'd be a good one. Yeah.
I'm going to bring
and
Mike
maybe
back.
you, him, and Pastor Steve will be a good one for that show.
Ooh, yeah, it would be a good one. I'd like to have that. What else we got?
And then on the 26th, we're gonna have No Country for Old People. We'll have Susie Singer Carter on as well.
Susie Singer Carter is the director of that movie.
Yes.
It's called No Country for Old People, not to be confused with the movie called No Country for Old Men.
Right,
which
correct.
was a Billy Bob Thornton movie. I'm sorry. Tommy Lee Jones movie.
Tommy Lee Jones, correct, yes.
Because the titles are
a little similar,
but the poster looks identical.
Yeah.
Okay, so just be careful. It's No Country for Old People.
It's
a documentary directed by Susie Singer Carter, an award-winning
Mhm.
documentarian filmmaker. It's her first of what I hope will be many appearances on our show. And
And on the 26th,
yeah.
27th, I'm sorry, Wednesday night, the day before Thanksgiving, we're going to be doing a show regarding on what to be thankful for day before
No,
Thanksgiving.
we're not.
Oh,
I changed my mind.
okay.
I'm giving
Thanks,
thanks
Mike.
that I don't have to be here Wednesday night. Anyway,
We'll be cutting up some stuff for Thanksgiving, getting prepared for Thanksgiving. That's what we'll be doing.
and Leon's, I'm eating with Rosie, her brother, and there you go, beautiful. There you go. Listen, Leon, I got some advice for you and Rosie. Listen to me very carefully. While you're out of the facility for a little bit, just keep going further and further till it's just a distant memory behind you. And you just do like they did at Alcatraz. Stick a pillow there underneath the blanket to make it look like a body. Carve a little head out of soap, right? Nobody will ever know. You and Rosie, you get out of there, run away, get married, have some fun somewhere. I'll cover for you. I'll vouch for you. Leon was with me. We were having dinner.
Right. The whole weekend, the rest of his life.
Well, I mean, for a little bit anyway.
Yeah. He's allowed
So
to
what
have
else
some
we got
fun.
going on?
That'll be it for right now. That's all we have
He
for
said
the
we're
rest
leaving in 25. Good for you.
All
Good. Get the
right.
hell out of that place, brother. I don't want you there. I want you out.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of there. That's it. Is that all we got?
That's our shows for November.
Wow, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I thought we were gonna we were just gonna have like kind of. Damn, went that fast, didn't it?
It did.
I'm sitting here going, okay.
That's our shows
man.
for November.
Anyway, folks, look, we're gonna get out of here. It's Tuesday night. I'm a little batty anyway. I'm glad it's a
Oh,
short.
look what he said he's doing. Can't tell Rosie though, I guess, because she's not
I'm
watching.
proposing Thanksgiving. You better propose, you prick. She put up with your ass for this long. You better propose, make an honest woman out of her. On that note, Neil, you get the hell out of here. Good night.